Beetlejuice. You got to be careful with that. Are you a Beetlejuice fan? I am. I certainly am. And I have not seen the new film, which is getting rave reviews, and I can't wait to see it. But the old film, the original, of course, is a classic, and I've seen it many, many times. I'd like to share with you some little known facts about one of my favorite horror, comedy, thriller, just it goes by many, many names, right? Many descriptions. So here we go. Beetlejuice was almost named something else. The film, believe it or not, was called House Ghosts, but then Tim Burton jokingly suggested that it be called Scared Sheetless to the studio. They briefly considered it seriously. I think that would have been cool. Scared Sheetless. Why not, right? All right. I think all fans know this one. Michael Keaton has minimal screen time. Okay. Despite him being the title character, he's only in it for about 17 minutes. The movie is 92 minutes long, and Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is only in it for 17. Go figure. All right. This one is really cool. The original script was much darker. Okay, the first script was a horror film, a true horror film with a much darker tone. Beetlejuice was a murderous demon who wanted to kill the family, and it was even more sinister than what we got, which of course is like a jokester. The Maitland's death was more graphic, and Lydia was supposed to die in a fire. Okay, I'm glad, I think you are too, that did not come to be. But that, of course, is from the wicked mind of Tim Burton. All right. A different actor was considered for Beetlejuice. Now, this really blew my mind when I looked it up, okay? Tim Burton initially considered Sammy Davis Jr. for the role of Beetlejuice. Burton was a fan of him, but eventually the role, of course, went to Michael Keaton. Now, supposedly, too, the studio execs, when Tim Burton pitched it, that it would be Sammy Davis Jr., they were just, shocked. They didn't know what to say. I think it would have been cool, actually. I think Sammy Davis Jr. as Beetlejuice would have been awesome. And Michael Keaton's awesome too, but it would have worked out. I think it definitely would have worked out. All right, again, another shocker to me. Winona Ryder almost turned down her role. She, of course, plays Lydia in both films, the new one as well. She initially thought the movie would flop, and she almost passed on the role. She was also unfamiliar with Tim Burton's work at the time, so I guess she wasn't a fan because she had not seen anything really and didn't know what to make of it. So very, very interesting. All right. This is great because it's one of my favorite movies or first books. The sandworms were inspired by Dune. No shock, right? The iconic sandworms from the film were inspired by the creatures in Frank Herbert's Dune. Tim Burton loved the idea of these giant desert-dwelling creatures, and I do too. I remember when I first saw Beetlejuice back in the day, I'm like, it reminds me of Dune, There's no way around it. All right. Again, another weird or shocker, and see what you think. A sequel was planned called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. Of course, after the runaway success of the first movie, the sequel was proposed. And of course, now we got a real one. But this was called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and it would have him wreaking havoc at a tropical resort. It never made it past the script stage. Now, I heard that it was really Tim Burton's almost joke because the studio kept saying, make a sequel. And he said, well, I'll just give them some stupid thing called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. But I guess they did kind of consider it as either a full treatment or a script. Briefly, it was never made. And I guess we can be thankful, even though we had to wait, well over 30 years or so, we got one. All right. Now, who would think but the movie's success was a surprise? Warner Brothers had low expectations. They were like, it was going to do maybe okay. However, it became, as we know, a big box office hit, earning $73 million on a budget of $15 million, which is really, really good. All right. Now, I thought she had done something before with Tim, but Catherine O'Hara and Tim Burton's collaboration began here. O'Hara had played the mother, of course, Winona Ryder's mother, began her collaboration with Burton and Beetlejuice, which later extended to films like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie. So I thought they did something before, but this was the first time, their first collabo. And finally, Beetlejuice's outfit is significant. The black and white striped suit worn by him reflects his chaotic and mischievous personality. It became iconic and has been associated with the character ever since. And I remember, looking at the trailer or when I first saw the movie, I'm like, that's so kind of a starkly, reminder, and it's so iconic, right? It fits, like you can't forget that suit or clothes. So there you go. I can't wait to see the sequel. Maybe, who knows? This is doing so well, we might get a third, but definitely enjoy this one and go and watch the original. You can't do wrong. If you haven't seen the original, go and check it out. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.